The Cowboys are facing a tough season, but could a shocking trade be the key to their future? A move involving one of their star players could change everything for the franchise. What's next for the Cowboys? Hit that subscribe button now to stay updated with all the latest news right here at Portal Dallas Cowboys News Fan. Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel. Things aren't looking great this season with a 3-6 record and playoff dreams fading fast. So, what's next for America's team? Well, some big news has been circulating, and it's causing quite a stir. ESPN has dropped a bombshell suggestion that could change the future of the Dallas Cowboys, a blockbuster trade involving none other than Micah Parsons, our star linebacker. Now, let's dive into this. According to ESPN's Dan Graziano, Parsons is so valuable that he could bring in 3 first-round draft picks. Yes, you heard that right, 3 first-rounders. To put this in perspective, this trade could be compared to the infamous Herschel Walker trade from the late 80s, a move that set the Cowboys up for their 1990s dynasty and 3 Super Bowl wins. But does it make sense to go down that road again? Graziano argues that with Parsons' incredible talent, the Cowboys could set themselves up for a future title run by using those picks to strengthen their roster with fresh, young talent. A potential rebuilding phase might be exactly what this team needs to start over and position themselves for success in the long run. On the flip side, we all know Jerry Jones is not afraid to spend big. If he's willing to make Parsons the highest paid defender in NFL history, that could shift the conversation. Do you let go of your star player to rebuild, or do you keep him and make him the centerpiece of your defense for years to come? That's the question fans are debating right now. If the Cowboys do pull the trigger on a trade involving Micah Parsons, it could really be a game-changer for the long-term future of the franchise. Yes, losing a player of his caliber would certainly sting, but when you think about the bigger picture, it might just be the smartest move for this team. The fact that ESPN is floating the idea of trading Parsons for 3 first-round draft picks shows just how valuable he is to other teams and how much Dallas could benefit from such a deal. If we get 3 first-rounders in return, we're talking about potential game-changers for multiple positions across the roster. For one, the Cowboys are currently in a bit of a tough spot, sitting at a 3-6 record with playoff hopes fading fast. It's becoming increasingly clear that this season isn't going the way we'd all hoped, but that doesn't mean the Cowboys are doomed. Rebuilding isn't a bad thing, it's actually a necessity for sustained success. We all know that in the NFL, having a strong, well-rounded team is far more important than relying on a single star, no matter how great that star is. With 3 first-round draft picks, Dallas could address some of the biggest weaknesses on the team, whether that's bolstering the offensive line, adding more playmakers at wide receiver, or continuing to develop a solid secondary. Imagine what a full, strong draft could do for this roster in just one season. Let's also not forget the Herschel Walker trade, a deal that still gets talked about to this day. Sure, trading Parsons would be painful, but the Walker trade set the Cowboys up for their legendary Super Bowl runs in the 1990s. That trade brought in a massive haul of talent, and while the circumstances are different today, the logic behind the move remains the same. Sometimes you have to take a short-term loss to position yourself for a brighter future. Plus, there's the possibility that the Cowboys could use those picks to move up in the draft and select a franchise quarterback or another key player who could be a centerpiece for the future. Imagine having that much capital to work with when the team is already stacked with talent in other areas. The Cowboys could essentially retool the roster in one off-season and come back stronger than ever next year. Jerry Jones has made it clear in the past that he's willing to spend big to keep top talent, and there's been talk about making Parsons the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. That's a huge commitment, but it's also a sign that the Cowboys want to keep him around long-term. That being said, if Jerry decides to go the trade route instead, it could be because he recognizes that the future of the team is more important than keeping one player, no matter how talented. Ultimately, this could be a rebuilding year for Dallas, and if trading Parsons is part of that strategy, it's a move worth considering. Rebuilding doesn't have to mean starting over from scratch. It's about making smart, calculated decisions to set the team up for a strong future. The Cowboys are in a unique position where they can get a huge return for Parsons and use that to reshape the roster. It's a tough decision, no doubt, but if done correctly, it could lay the foundation for a new era of Cowboys success. So, as much as it would hurt to see Parsons go, this could be the best thing for the team. Let's trust that Jerry and the front office are thinking about the bigger picture here and are making decisions with the long-term success of the Cowboys in mind. Sometimes the best way forward is to take a step back and build for the future. Let's stay hopeful and optimistic that this team is on the right path, no matter what happens this season. So, what do you think, Cowboys fans? Should the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons for those 3 first-round picks and start fresh? Or is keeping him the better bet to continue building this defense for the future? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Dallas Cowboys. The season may be slipping away, but the future is still in play. Let's keep the conversation going.